Good morning. Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Real Prosperity Project, our podcast, and thank you for coming back and listening to us again this week. I'm Tanisha Tearing, and this is,
Charlene Reedman, hello, hello.
and we are so happy to be here. So, we're here to talk about prosperity in all areas of life. It encompasses more than just financial success. It includes emotional, physical, and social and spiritual well-being. We want to share our real life experiences, lessons learned, overcoming challenges, and moments of triumph. We're excited to share our journey with others so that we can support you in cultivating attitudes of belief that foster abundance and growth in your daily life. This is to help develop a mindset of prosperity, not only benefits you, but it benefits those around you. So, welcome and thank you for listening. Charlene, what's our subject today?
Well, we're going to talk about intention plus mechanism. This is really interesting because often we'll put good intentions out, but we don't follow through with the proper mechanism to make our intention complete. So that often can make us feel defeated and sometimes, or easy to put our intention to the side. I also think intentions are tied to goals. And
100%.
you know, if we all should have goals in our life, whatever that might be. It could be a business goal, income goal, um, a health goal, a relationship goal, again, all encompassing. And if we put that goal or our intention out, and it could even be, when you start your day, you have an intention of how your day should go, and then it kind of falls apart. Does that make sense?
It totally does. It totally does. And that kind of leads me into my aha moment, that intention and mechanism equals result thing, right? Is I wanted to share this story with our listeners because it just recently happened here at the beginning of this month. I came up to visit you
Yeah.
and some other friends up in the north, and I got the pleasure of meeting a gentleman again, and I had only ever spent 5 minutes talking with him prior. And so, really, we're strangers in the grand scheme of things. And he said something to me that was so straightforward and honestly profoundly rude, but it hit me to my soul. And it was exactly what I needed to hear. So I went over there with my 1 year old corgi. His name is Pickles, super cute. Probably too cute for his own good and my own good. But I had him on a harness because we were going to go out to a farm and see some horses. And this guy says to me, he goes, "Hey, can I give you a little bit of advice?" He trains animals or dogs, so he's very good at it. And I said, "Sure." He goes, "Well, the first problem I see is that you have your dog on a harness." And I was like, "Okay, what I need to, because like I don't want to choke him when he pulls on his collar." And I was like, "But I'll listen. Okay, I'll listen." And he says, "That means that he has absolutely zero respect for you." And he goes, "And I feel like that's going into all areas of your life." And I was like, "What? What
And
is
I'm
this?"
like, what the heck is this guy talking about?
And exactly. And he's like, "You are not commanding the result that you want out of your dog, which means you are also not commanding the result in your relationship with your children, probably in your business, and in other areas of your life." He's like, "Do you ever feel like you're screaming lots? You're yelling. You want a result, but you're not getting it?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "That's because you're going, oh, come here, Pickles. Come here. Good boy." You're not going here and commanding the result, right? So after 5 minutes of this man working with me, all of a sudden now my dog is stopping when I want him to stop. He's not pulling on his leash. He's listening. And when I said no, he came and he sat next to me. And I was like, huh, this is the aha moment. And He's so right. Yes, I was yelling a lot at my kids because they weren't listening the 15th time, and then I was yelling, right? In my business world, I felt kind of, like you said earlier, defeated because I'm yelling, I want this result. I'm doing everything that I can, but I'm not doing everything that I can, and I'm not commanding that I get the result. So it was just this profound aha moment that this basically random stranger taught me with training my dog. By the way, the training is going well. He is learning, and so am I.
That's so awesome. And that's
Yeah.
and that's what we were talking about like last week. Everything has a ripple effect to
Hmm.
everything around you. So how you're doing one thing in your life is going to ripple into everything else you're doing in your life, right? And
Exactly.
that's the results you're getting.
Uh-huh. And that was exactly his point, is that the way that I was training my dog, which was not at all, is rippling into everywhere else in my life, right? And I tell you, the difference it's made in, like, first off, I don't have to yell. And
That's
second,
nice.
yeah, my kids are actually listening too, is because I'm just like, I'm sticking to it,
Yeah, that's
right?
key.
Mm-hmm.
That's
It
key.
is
And
because
that's the other thing too, because um, we're such a society now of instant gratification. So I feel if we don't see the result immediately, we often, I mean, we just give up sometimes. Is that fair to say?
100%. Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely have given up so many times when I'm like just right at the cusp of starting to get through and get to the next level. And I'm just like, nah, nah, it's getting annoying.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
Tanisha, and then we'd kind of circle back to intention plus mechanism. What will equal results? But what do you think would tie like getting that result now? Like what's tying you to that?
What's tying me is I think now I have a strong enough intention. I don't want, for example, with Pickles, we'll just go back to the dog example. I don't want him to get hurt. I don't want him to get hit by a car. So my intention is he needs to be safe. So I found a mechanism that will work, and now I'm getting the result. And then in my business recently, I have tied my intention to some emotional attachment, and now I'm starting to get more results of what I actually was going after to begin with.
Exactly. Um, so when we're building intention and building that mechanism, there's three things that we need to do. We need to make a bold declaration. So your bold declaration for Pickles is, I don't want him to get hurt,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And we need to visualize, how is what's our result going to look like? Now you have a dog that's going to listen. You're
Hmm.
visualizing that, right?
Yeah.
And is there a risk reward attached to that?
Absolutely, there is a risk reward attached to that, because the risk is if he doesn't listen to me, I could lose my dog,
Yep.
or someone else could get hurt because they were trying to avoid my dog, and they could hit a tree or something like that, right? But the reward is I have a well-mannered dog. He listens, and now he doesn't jump up on people, and he's a good, well-behaved dog, and I can take him more places. So that's the reward.
That's awesome. I love it. So yeah, so now if we take that and put it into um, let's say let's go back to the business side. You know, what is the risk you're taking by setting an intention? Or what's the risk if you don't work on your intention and your mechanism, what's a risk to that slash reward?
Oh, great question. You know what? Actually, I'm really glad that you brought that up, because we had another aha moment. just this last Saturday, actually, in our team training. And you were there. And so our senior partner and mentor, who's just absolutely incredible, and he's done a lot of work himself, so he says a lot of profound things. He said, first off, look at your bank account.
Yeah.
If you're uncomfortable, then that should be a huge motivator for you to get your mechanisms in order.
Oh,
But
can I
go
interrupt
ahead.
for a quick second?
Yeah.
Because it just clicked on me, motivator.
Yeah.
This is, I'm just going to sidetrack a bit, but quite often we're expecting our outside circumstances or something outside of us to motivate us to internally to keep
Mhm.
that motivation. But this is something Tanisha just said, tying your motivation to your bank account, that's emotional. So we need that emotion piece to
Yeah.
keep us internally. Okay, sorry. Keep going. Keep
No, no, that was great, Shar. I love
going.
that. That was awesome. And yeah, and that other motivator for me was he said, if you're looking at, oh, I want to retire my husband, I want to make my kids proud, I want to take them to Disneyland or whatever your motivator is, okay, whatever the reason you're doing something is, your intention is to get to your next contract level, let's say. And doing that will fill your bank account. You'll be able to hit your goals, which is retire your husband, blah, 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 blah. When you don't do it, you are then look at your partner, for example. So I would look at my husband and I would say, you weren't worth it.
Ooh, how's that
You
make you
weren't worth
feel?
my time and my actions. And that I actually cried on training on Saturday because if I were to actually look at my kids and my husband and say, you weren't worth it, that would make me sick to my stomach. So, in all of our daily actions towards our intention, which is that mechanism, right? Am I willing to sit down and do my phone calls because my family's worth it? Or am I going to look at the end of the day when I didn't reach my goal, which is my intention, and say you weren't worth it?
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I'm
that's
not willing to do
crazy.
that. Yeah.
And this is, I don't know if anybody out there can relate to that, regardless of what you're doing. Everybody's life is different. Everybody has different goals that they want to achieve. Um, but if we're not tying that emotion, it's super easy to let ourselves off the hook.
Yeah, it is
And
100.
and it's like, you know what, it's okay. We can do it tomorrow. Just saying.
Yeah. But how many times does tomorrow not come?
Well, that's just it. We don't know.
You know how many times just in the last 6 months I've been telling myself I'm going to do something and then everything takes priority and I don't get done what I wanted to actually get done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it is kind of, it's a really interesting concept, this intention plus mechanism will help you get results. But you can also, I think, is a good idea to tie in values. What are your values? And, make a list of what's important to help you with that integrity side.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and that formula, intention plus mechanism equals result. If your intention is strong enough,
Yeah.
which, comes down to what you were saying, those three things. What were they again? Sorry.
So you need the bold declaration,
Hmm.
right? You need to visualize what it's going to look like, but put yourself inside of as if it's already happened. So
Yeah.
and what's your risk and reward? And that can also be, hey, if I hit my goal or my intention, and you need to tie a date to that. If I hit, maybe it's today, I'm going to make my bed. There's my intention and I did it. What's my reward? right? Oh, I can have 5 minutes of TV, maybe. I don't know, just throwing silly things out there. But, let's say you want to achieve weight loss, you want to release a bunch of weight, and you're visualizing how awesome you're going to feel and how great it's going to be when your clothes are fitting properly and the compliments you're going to receive and you're getting on a healthy lifestyle. What's your risk reward? So the risk could be something you want to give up, or maybe it's like, well, if I don't hit my goal, I have to, or my intention, maybe I have to write a check to, I'm going to say, maybe I have to pay my kids some money or something. I don't know.
Mhm.
But my reward, what's my reward? Oh, well, maybe I get to go shopping for a whole brand new outfit. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, so something that's really like, maybe like golfing. Well, if I don't hit my goal, then there's no golf. But if I hit my goal, maybe there's a trip to Palm Springs to go golfing. With
Oh, I love that. I see where you're getting at with the very big risk and the very big reward. It kind
Yeah,
of helps you set that intention harder so that that mechanism will follow.
yeah. And when we
Yeah.
talk about bold declaration and tie a date to it, who are you telling about what you're planning to do? So, say this weight loss journey, who are you telling that you're on this journey so that they can help you be accountable to it? Accountability is
Hmm.
huge.
Yeah.
And accountability is not there to beat you up. It's there to guide you and support you and cheer you on.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. Accountability is amazing. And for those that are listening, like definitely put in the comments some of your goals and some things that, you know, somebody who is your accountability person, and are you actually being accountable to them? Because Charlene and I are actually, for the last 2.5 years, we've been accountable to each other. And I love having someone to phone on the days when I'm winning and on the days where I have missed my goal. Because on the days that I'm winning, I get cheered on. And on the days that I'm not, I get, it's okay. We can win tomorrow. I get cheered on there too. And that's the same for Charlene, is like I do that for her. And so it's really important to have that accountability person. And who are you doing that bold declaration to?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Huh.
Yeah.
This is such a the intention plus mechanism is such a big topic. It's I just want to put it in the most simplistic
Mhm.
way, because even for myself, it took me a bit to wrap my brain around this. With my own intentions, I was kind of sometimes it was the mechanism part that I was a little confused on. But I'm going to go back to, I think I talked about it last week about Bob Proctor. And
Mhm.
remember when he really opened my eyes, because he said to me, I'm sure he told it just to me. We're in an audience of like 1,000 people, but I'm sure it was just to me. He's like, you can do whatever you want to do, the how will come. I'm like, oh, that's really interesting, because quite often I was always asked, well, how are you going to do that? And then that pressure would make me stop
Yeah, that's exactly it. That pressure makes you stop.
because you don't have the
That is an
how.
aha moment.
Yeah, because you don't have the answer maybe right away. But if we don't open our mind to receiving the how, right? So it's kind of like a brainstorm.
Mm.
But if we get shut down right away, then our mind closes as well.
Ah,
Oh,
that makes total sense. Yeah, I love that. I bet you some of our listeners are really going to appreciate that, sure, because they're going to get huge, huge moment out of what you just said. It is so true. You're right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, I mean, and just even look back at some things that you wanted to accomplish or some intentions that you had set and maybe you didn't hit them. what prevented you from doing that? Like, really look at what happened and maybe bring it back to life,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right?
Reflection is such a key thing that I have actually just been learning that the reflection piece and picking apart exactly why I didn't get to where I wanted to be in that moment. I've never been a journaler, and when I learned how to journal and reflect, it is so powerful because you can be like, "Oh, why was I feeling that in that moment?"
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's a trigger or a trauma response, honestly. And once you learn what it is, you can then deal with it. And then next time you can get over that.
But the other good thing too is when you're doing your reflection, also make sure you're including the things that you have accomplished or the things that did make you feel well, really well. And, because that's also an aha moment, because sometimes we get a bit stuck in our life and we're like, oh, nothing's working out, blah, blah, blah. But take time to go back and go, well, wait, I've done this, I've done this, I've did this. Wait a minute. I
That's
can
where
do
that
that. I can do that
prosperity
again.
comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, that's the prosperity in commanding that result right there. Thank you. We can end the podcast if we wanted to right now.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
just
Right.
said it. When you're reflecting, find those positive moments, those really great things that you won in that day, and that is your prosperity of the day.
And you know
That
what?
is your great moment.
Even look at it this way. Let's say we're going to plan our vacation. How much time do you spend planning that? Probably hours, right? You're searching Airbnbs, you're searching destination, you're searching flights, you're searching what can we do there? Like, look how much time we put into planning our vacation. So why aren't we doing that planning our life,
Yeah.
right? So as a, again, this is, we can break away from the masses and create whatever we want, right? And like Tanisha says, put it down on paper.
Yeah.
And that starts getting your mind thinking,
Hmm.
oh, that would be so amazing. So now we have the intention. Okay, now we need to build that mechanism to make it happen,
Yeah.
to get the result. Love it.
Love it. And that's how you command the result, right? Wow. This has been such an amazing call today, Shar. Like, I just love how many points we've hit on. And I'm really excited because I'm pretty sure we've helped a few listeners today in probably learning how to command their own result. Something that you said to me, and I want you to bring this up for our listeners, is what about the feeling?
Oh,
You know?
yes.
Yes, bring it up.
So I think it's really easy to say, oh, I don't know, I want to make $5,000 this month. Like, do I have excitement in my voice or anything? Like, I have no emotion attached to that,
Hmm.
no feeling. I feel like I'm saying it like, oh, I'll make $5,000 a month, whether it happens or not. I'm wishy washy.
Yeah.
Or, hey, my bank account says I need to make $5,000 this month, so let's get to work. Because if I make that $5,000 this month, well, then, I get to do this, this, and this. So now that's a lot more exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's helpful, but that's like, let's go to a weight loss journey. Um, Man, I sure would love to lose, 20 pounds. Or, I get to lose 20 or release 20 pounds. And by doing that, I'm going to go on a whole new journey, which is going to lead me to a whole new closet of clothes. That's
Way
exciting.
more exciting. Yeah. That you're attaching that feeling and that emotion to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And stop waiting to feel that.
Yes, that's huge. Because
Yeah.
often it's, when this happens, then I'll be happy or I'll be satisfied or whatever. How about let's be happy and joyful that we get to go on this journey. It's going to be a straight line up, well, if it's a scale, hopefully straight line down.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, you're going to have some obstacles come up, and that's why we need to make sure our intention is deep enough with our visualization and our feelings that we can pick ourselves back up and keep on keeping on.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. It's not, I will feel this way when I get there.
Exactly.
It's for me, I want to have a cash Christmas. And our firm released some really great information about potential stock options. I want that in my life. Like I wholeheartedly want it. So instead of wanting it, I need to command it and I need to get there and I need to feel as though it's already happened. I need to sit here in my visualization and go, this has already happened. I'm seeing it. How am I feeling? How excited am I when I see the Christmas tree filled with gifts for my kids and I have those stock options? How am I feeling when I got to pay for it cash and I don't have a credit card bill at the end of the month? Like
Yeah.
that's where you need to sit. You need to sit in that feeling of as if it's already happened, because then the universe has no choice but to give it to you because it's already happened,
Yeah.
right? So you need to command that result. Um, all that being said, Charlene, I want to keep us to about a 30-minute podcast so that it's easy for our listeners. And I know that based on our results and lessons learned in life, that we wanted to add a tip of the day into our podcast. And I think that that's such a beautiful thing, is something practical and tangible that you can bring into your life as a tip of the day. And I know that Charlene has a really good one here. So I want to give her that tip of the day time.
Yeah. And I think, well, tip of the day or kind of like a call to action of the day, or that's kind of my thought process, because we can sit and listen to lots of stuff. We can read books, and I hope that everybody is reading good books and listening to good things. But and then we turn it off and then we just go about our business of the day or daily, whatever, and we haven't taken any action. Or so my tip of the day would be, whether it's this podcast or somebody else's, but sit down and write out what you got out of it and how you're going to implement something that was your aha moment, maybe. How are you going to implement that into your life to create it? And perhaps look at getting an accountability partner, somebody that would go on this journey with you, and make sure you're making that bold declaration to them and have somebody cheering you on and picking you up when you need picked up. So that's kind of my tip of the day, but a little bit of a call to action. That's the other thing that Bob Proctor always taught me too, was you come and you listen and you get that rah, rah, rah. And now this goes back to the emotion, right? We get all emotional and we're like, oh my God, we're going to change our life. And he's always like, but it's not going to do anything for you unless you sit down and intentionally journal about it, or be intentional about writing down what you've learned, and then putting something into your life to make the journey start.
Awesome. Okay, mic drop. There we go. That's an amazing call to action. I love it. Definitely put in the comments what you got out of today, and reach out to us if you have any questions or you personally want to dive into this deeper, or, anything really. Just reach out to us there's an email attached to our podcast, as well as you can search us up on social media. Tanisha Tearing, Charlene Reedman. Really simple. You'll find us. And yeah, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for joining us and listening to us. We'll see you again next week.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Tanisha.
Thanks, Shar.